Greetings from Boca Raton, Florida. Trying to do the Will from Shane Gillis, but definitely did not do it as loud. Matt and I will have some some stories from Vegas, especially with the sharp bettors out there. Mons, how you feeling after 4 days in Vegas?
I feel a lot better than I did on, what was that, Saturday when we got home. Yeah, it was rough. Saturday was rough. I woke up to a call from the missus on Sunday at 1 p.m. waking me up.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, Vegas got the best of Mons.
Yeah, it's we probably were there an extra day. I feel like I don't like going more than like 2 days at a time. That's kind of what I believe in.
Everybody says it, and it's yet to prove to be wrong. 48-hour city.
Yeah.
48-hour city. Get in, get out, have your fun.
Gotcha.
Keep it moving.
But today we will have a very special guest. We want to bring in Chris, Professor Breezy on social media. How we doing today, brother?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Where are you calling in from?
Philadelphia.
Oh man, the Eagles. Last year
Go Birds.
last year they won, and I had to shave my head, and that was terrible. So never doing that again.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, we'll go over some of your background, and then we'll dive into some topics with NFL and college. I mean, we got college starting up on Saturday, so should have started the show with that. But Chris, when did you start betting, and what made you pursue sports, being a sports handicapper?
It was roughly around 2021. And I moved to Connecticut in 2022, and that's where like I didn't know really like what TikTok was and like all these social media platforms. And I just started like, you know how your algorithm goes. Like once you start liking one video, it sends you 10 more. Um, and I just started watching these people that were like, oh, these sports bets, this and that. I'm like, what is this? Like, and to some people, like it's the new cocaine to them. Like if you're not using or drinking, like sports betting is your next best except for sex. Like, so I immediately got like pulled into like the nice edits, like these videos, the flashiness, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see what it's all about. And I started betting in 2021, early 2022, but I didn't really start taking it serious until 2023. Like when I knew, like I was like, okay, well, no more parlays. Let's just stick to the single bets, 53, 54%, and let's see what happens. And I became long-term profitable in the first year, and then like it just took off. And I am on SoBet. I've been over there since 2023. They saw something in me. Gained over 2,500 followers, subscribers, and you know how it goes. People come and go, but I've created a pretty good size following, and people know my name, so I just have to stay on top of it. It's like once you start, you have to keep going. I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys have met a lot of people that started this and just stopped, or just pretty much just stopped following people, or they lost all their money.
Yeah, they don't scale it properly. Definitely.
Yeah, like you have to be smart when it comes to this. Like you really have to.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot. And even when you're talking about 2023, we were one of the first ones kind of in the space. It feels like it's oversaturated now. I know you've been around for a while as well, like us. But Chris, I had asked you before to prepare if you have your craziest bet you've hit and then your worst beat. I know, we had sent that out. We talk about that with every guest, but I'll always love to hear these stories. So.
Yeah. So in 2023, I'll start off with the good part, right? The good news first. In 2023, I remember I was at work, and like I just my last 3 years before I moved to Philadelphia this year, I was working with like veterans with PTSD and substance abuse disorder. And I remember I was working one night, and we always get to watch these games, and especially March Madness, like all these old veterans, they just want to watch sports and watch the news and drink coffee. Like that's it. And so I'm hanging out and I'm watching this game, and something like one of the books we were using in Connecticut gave us a 50% boost, and I'm like, okay, like let's use it. It was Kansas State versus Michigan State, March Madness of 2023. And I was like, you know what? Let me just. This game is going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire. Michigan State went up by 6 in the first half early. I immediately used the boost, and it was like $50 max. And I put it on the game to go to overtime. And I stopped watching. I got busy like an hour later after second half, and I was like, my phone was blowing up. And like I posted it in the Discord that I was in at the time. I posted it on social media, and like it was like 50 to 1,000, and it went to overtime. Marquise Noel, I believe, hit like the tying shot to go to overtime, and Kansas
Oh,
State won. That's when they went on that run to the Elite
Fucking,
Eight.
I
that
remember
was
that game.
that was MSG, right? That was at the Garden.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
March Madness. I think it was
yeah,
the Sweet
That was
16.
one of the
yeah,
most electric college games I've
yeah.
ever watched.
I was on the very, very wrong side of that one. I was all over Izzo and the Spartans there.
Hey, hey, I mean, if you look at it, you never fade Izzo in March,
That's
bro.
what I'm. That was literally. I made a video for MVP years ago
Yeah,
on it, and I was like, "Don't
that was
fade Izzo in
that
March."
was that was also back when the coach of Kansas State was doing like the little baby song and was going viral with like the
Oh
locker
yeah,
room.
that song in the locker room. I forgot what the
Yeah,
name of it was, but I remember it.
yeah. Yeah, but that that was one of like my highlights, and that like that just got so many people like hype, and like they just and college basketball is like one of my main, any college sports is like one of my main like go to. I'll go to college sports before I go to like professional and like really dive in. It's just a lot easier to read, and kids are going to be kids. They want to get paid. Professionals, they're already paid. They Oh, so are we ready for the bad beat now? So now
Yeah.
we got
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now we got the good beat. I sent you guys the parlay. I had like a 14 leg parlay plus
Oh Jesus.
17,000. It was plus 17,000. It was college basketball. I think it was like in no, it had to be February. And it was before March Madness. And I hit all 13 legs, and it was Wake Forest versus Virginia, and like Virginia was ranked, but like we all know that like Virginia just has a good defense. They're not good on offense in college basketball. Wake Forest led the game 70% of the time, and they lost by 2 in the last minute of the game. And that 14 leg plus 17,000. I sent you the proof. It was the only leg that lost, and I was pretty upset about that. Like, I was pretty upset. You never really like get honed in on like a long shot parlay like that. Like, and I feel like with college sports, you just get more like the atmosphere is already bigger than like it is pretty much in professional sports. Like, I was just that much more into that parlay hitting. But I mean, that was probably my worst beat. Besides when the Yankees this year like gave up 9 runs to the Marlins like in the ninth inning. Like, but like that shit happens. Um, you know, with baseball. But yeah, that 14 leg parlay was probably my worst bad beats ever.
Wow. Matt, have you ever done 14 legs?
Oh, of course. I mean, especially
Yeah.
back when I was like still living in Jersey with FanDuel, I would put like the quarter. I would do like the whole NFL slate for the week,
Oh,
Thursday
yeah,
through
yeah,
Monday, and I would
Yeah.
rip like 14, 15 games or whatever. Or if I
Wow,
really,
it's-
I'd put a winner and a total, so I'd have like
yeah.
30 legs.
Bro, I had three of the legs to end even or odd, and I was right on all three of those. Like, and
Jesus.
it was the Wake Forest money line that lost 49 to 47. Like, how? You didn't even score 50 points and you lost the game.
Wow. Oh, the worst beats. I don't even want to go back to some of mine. But moving on here, Mons is going to be very happy that we're soon going to be talking about actual games. We will be tomorrow in kind of a college football preview with our boy Billy on tomorrow night. So we don't have to talk about these topics that we can talk about the actual fucking games. But before we do that, would love to dive into, Chris, a little bit of the NFL and college football, kind of the futures going on. So there's 7 new rookie coaches in the NFL. Would love to hear from all 3 of us who's going to have the best season overall, not necessarily the best record, and then the worst season. So we got Brian Schottenheimer on the Cowboys, Ben Johnson, Bears, Vrabel on your Patriots, Liam Cohen in Duval with the Jags, Pete Carroll in Vegas, Aaron Glenn with the Jets, and then Kellen Moore with the Saints. Chris, any of those names stick out to you first, and then we'll toss it over to us.
I mean, one of the ones. I mean, I got to think that like Jacksonville is going to be mid. We already know. I think Chicago has a lot to learn from last year. They're in a great spot, and I like yeah, they just beat the Bills in a preseason game, but like I've seen, so that's just like typical Bears fans, like, oh, like look at that ass whooping, Bills fans, like, no, stop. Um, but I would have to say I think Vrabel going to he went to the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that would probably be like my best, just because with like the experience with like that he has. Um, I think really he can mold Drake May into a a solid quarterback. And I said this a long time ago. Drake May should have stayed in North Carolina one more year before he left to the NFL. Because he still would have been a top 10, top 5 draft pick. And he would have learned more, and he would have gave North Carolina a little bit more. Like they didn't do much, they didn't do that very good this past year. So I feel like if he would have stayed one more year and then left to the NFL, this year, I feel like he would have been in a better spot. But I like Vrabel in the Patriots this year, probably the best for me. And I'm a Cincinnati fan, and like we owe the Patriots a well deserved ass whooping after last year.
Oh yeah, that was week 1. Well, we're gonna dive into survivor pools a little bit there. I mean,
So,
I like that take.
No, I agree. I think it's out of all the teams, I kind of think we're going to collectively agree that Jacksonville is probably going to be the worst.
No, the Saints.
Oh,
The
well,
Saints are gonna
yes.
be really fucking bad.
All right, fine. Jacksonville and New Orleans probably have the.
Kellen Moore is not set as the expectations are low for Kellen Moore.
So then, honestly, I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be that bad. Like if your expectations are low,
Yeah, they're
going
gonna
to
be fucking
hard
bad, yeah.
to blow.
They're
them
not
out
going to
of the
be like,
water.
oh my God, he had a fucking shitty year.
No, I think the people that have the shot to the rookie head coaches that have a shot, or not rookie, but new spots. I agree with Vrabel and New England, and that's non-bias. But I'm also going to give Ben Johnson and the Bears.
He has a lot of pressure on him.
Lot
Ben
of
Johnson.
pressure.
Absolutely.
Johnson and the Bears have a shit ton of pressure on them, but you know, while they have so much pressure, at the end of the day, it is still the Bears. So if he puts up 10 wins, that's huge.
Yeah, if they make the playoffs this year, he'll be in a good spot.
What about you?
I mean, I think Schottenheimer is going to be a disaster in Dallas. I think he only lasts 1 year, to be honest with you there. Kellen Moore, he's not really set up for success there. I think Pete Carroll's good. I know Vrabel's going to have a solid year, but I think Pete Carroll's, they're going to have like 7 wins, but they're going to be super competitive and kind of building for the future. I know he's like 73, but I think Pete Carroll's going to, have the best kind of season for the expectations. Vrabel will probably have the best record there. And then I think Schottenheimer is going to be a fucking disaster in Dallas. So
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I think
Wait, Geno Smith went to Las Vegas, correct?
yeah, and they got Genty and Bowers, and they still have Crosby. The division is super tough, but I think he's able to turn around the culture there. They got Brady in the back end, so and then we have Aaron Glenn for the Jets. That's a tough situation, year 1.
Yeah. I feel like just watching Justin Fields, like I feel like he's I need to see a few games before like I even believe in like them going far. But I don't even see the Jets really being like a playoff contender, not this year at least.
No, especially not in that division.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see with the rookie head coaches. 7 of them. It's usually like 7 a year, so that's always interesting. But Chris, you had mentioned being into college football. Would love to hear your early thoughts for the college football championship matchup and then ultimate winner.
So I have like over 6, I think, futures for that I've already given out to the Discord and to my members. And pretty much I am leaning heavy. I don't want to say heavy, like I have a favorite, and like it's clearly I believe in Penn State. I believe what they did this past year and what they have returned. I believe that this team is, if they lose any game, it's going to be versus Ohio State. And I believe Penn State plays them at home this year. But I found like a gym, and looking at what last year we had four Big Ten teams enter the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I
I
think it
believe
was.
it was four:
Yeah.
Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, and somebody else. I think this year, I think the Big 12 has a chance to at least send two teams. And I gave out Texas Tech to make
Wow.
the college football playoffs at 5-1 odds, just to make the college football playoffs. But if I had to pick a favorite, it's going to be Penn State. But I believe that Texas Tech could go far if they make it to. They'll be last year's SMU, but this year they're going to make it past the first round. And last year, what happened? We saw Arizona State, who won the Big 12. They had a bye,
Camp
and then
Scatterville.
they should have beat
That
Texas.
game was
Like
nuts.
they should have beat Texas in that game. I remember watching that. Texas got lucky at the end of that game. Arizona State was in control, and they fell short. And then two touchdowns, two passes for Texas in overtime put the pressure right back on them. So like you couldn't be mad at Quinn Ewers, but I'm very glad that like Texas and Oklahoma left to the SEC. That makes the Big 12 a lot easier. And if you look at the odds, everybody is 5-1 or more to win the Big 12 this year. So Texas Tech went 9-3 last year before going to their bowl game. They went 9-3. They added two new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And if you didn't look who those guys are, Shield Woods and Leftwich, they came from Tulane, they came from Troy, and they came from Army. All those teams did was fucking win. And ranked second in the transfer portal on top of that, and returned almost 70% of their production last year.
Wow.
So you
Interesting.
tell me, you went 9-3 last year, and this year you have a chance. Like you have a solid chance to win the Big 12, and if you do, you're going to the college football playoffs.
Big 12 is an inch. We got a Big 12 matchup on Saturday. Fucking ranked game to start the year.
Yeah,
Interesting there. I'm looking again at the rankings list here, and I'm personally a big fan of Clemson with Cade Klubnik. I think their schedule's really easy.
yeah.
Penn State, I'm worried about James Franklin because the guy literally cannot win.
No, I was actually going to bring that up to you.
He can't win a big game.
He can't.
He's like Cristobal, at Miami.
And Chris, let me ask you, what gets what gets James Franklin fired this year?
Anything under 10 wins.
Okay.
What about his record in the playoffs?
I was going to say,
Like,
what if he gets bumped in the first round or whatnot?
I don't believe that, like, in our eyes, like the expectations are there, but like in our eyes, we wouldn't fire somebody if you go 10-2 and then you win the first round. Say you don't get a bye, and if you're in the Big Ten and you win the Big Ten, you should get a bye, right? So, but we saw the same thing last year with Oregon, undefeated, went for a bye, Ohio State, right, smacked them. They didn't win by one possession. I believe they won by like what, 3 possessions.
and that wasn't
versus
even
Oregon?
that wasn't even a home game for them. That first round, they have all those home games.
Yeah, true. So I believe, if Penn State does make it past, I'd easily see Penn State winning 10 games this year, but it's gonna be tough. If they do lose in the first round, I mean, who are you gonna replace them with though? Like we look at Alabama, you brought over the guy from Washington. I can't even think of his name, but you brought the Washington coach,
Kalen
and
DeBoer, yeah.
yeah, DeBoer, and he didn't even, the expectations. If he does what he did last year, he will be fired
Mm-hmm.
from Bama. So like, the roof is the ceiling is so high for these like top 10 preseason ranked like teams. And I don't think that, like, first off, Miami, I don't see Miami doing what they did last year.
They're ranked number 10 right now. They got Notre Dame out the gate.
Yeah, I don't. It's just, you put Carson Beck in Miami with nothing but bikinis and money and flashy cars, bro. Like now, the dude's been single for a minute, I guess. Like it's just a huge place for distractions. And
Well,
like
we live
Cam,
down here, so we're part of that distraction.
yeah,
I thought
bro,
he was dating one of the
absolutely.
Cavendish sisters.
No, they broke. I think he cheated on her.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. She left him a long time ago.
Fucking
Yeah,
Carson Beck.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, I can't. take Miami or Penn State with their coaching situation until they prove to me that they can win.
Yeah.
Ohio State, they have the best offensive and defensive player in college football, but their quarterback situation is tricky, and you know it's tough to win back to back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Texas is number one right now,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm a big Clemson guy with that schedule.
I like
There,
it. I like it.
and then you got all the SEC teams. Matt and I have been watching the Netflix show on that. I mean, South
Yeah.
Carolina's at 13 right now, and
Yeah.
this will obviously shuffle
If
around.
if if I believe I looked at the South Carolina schedule, and like that schedule is just so hard. The away, the
All
home,
the SEC games are
Yeah,
like
if you're
that.
looking at those
oh
mid, like lower
Like Florida's
A
schedule is fucking insane.
to the B
yeah,
teams that are in the SEC,
yeah,
they would need to have such a fucking season.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you think
yeah,
SEC, you think Georgia, Texas, and Bama. And if you're not
yeah,
one of those three teams, you have to scratch and claw every fucking game.
And LSU.
absolutely,
Yeah, that's true.
absolutely.
LSU with Nussmeier, I think will end the season top 10. They have
Yeah,
Arizona State ranked 11th, Illinois 12th, but yeah, we'll probably know a lot after the first weekend. Texas has a lot of continuity coming back there,
yeah,
so that'll be a big one.
yeah.
But moving on to the NFL, Chris, I know you said you're Philly. Are you an Eagles guy?
No, so like I'm, I just live in Philly. We just got a house up here. I'm going to school, going to college here this fall for the next 2 years. Um, I'm a Cincinnati fan. I have always been since I was a little kid. We're from Northern Virginia. My dad was a Redskins fan. My mom was a Cowboys fan, and I'm like, I can't just get on neither of those sides. And like I remember watching like Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson like back in the day,
Oh, that
and
was electric.
I was like, yo, like I really like this team. I like the color orange, like I like the tiger. Like, who doesn't want to be this guy's team? So like I became like a bandwagon at a young age, and like you're allowed to when you don't know nothing about the sport.
Yep.
So and I've grown just a passion. And when Joe Burrow took us to, the Super Bowl, regardless of the outcome, like I have always believed in this team for the last 10 years, like solid as an adult. Besides like Andy Dalton, I was like a hateful Cowboys fan. Like I could not wait for Andy Dalton to get the hell out of town. But we had to wait for Joe Burrow. So like, those 5, 6
Hey, it's
years that
nice to wait for that guy.
yeah,
Speaking
we
of
struggled.
Cincinnati, I was going to bring it up later, but now that you're a Cincinnati fan, I was watching the game last night, and that O line and defense looks like they're kind of in shambles already. I mean, your offense is going to be electric, but what are your feelings about the team this year with the Trey Henderson shit and the defense being awful last year, changing coordinators as well as the O line there?
I feel like that's what it's what happens like when you have a team with like a lot of highlight players. Like okay, you had no problem paying Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. You got rid of a running back. You finally got your Shamar Stewart. Like to finally agree, like that was a bunch of bullshit. I feel like Henderson. I hope this year's a good year for him. And like if he does what he did last year, then like he will be the next one that gets a fat paycheck like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't know if you guys are all over the NFL. I know you guys are. Last year, T. Higgins was on his way out the door. Like he
And they
either,
kept him, so I mean,
yeah, like I remember the rumors. I remember, this and that, and it was more than just rumors. Like T. Higgins was upset, but he got what he wanted. But it's a billionaire, like system with the NFL. So like pay these players. Like if that's what it boils down to. Like Hendrickson loves it in Cincinnati. He wouldn't have shown up to camp. He wouldn't have agreed to this or that. Like he's got something coming. I just feel like we did go pretty heavy on like the big three, Joe Burrow and T and Jamar, and like now it's time to like share the wealth. And we need that. Get your offense right, which we already have had right for a few years. As long as Joe Burrow stays healthy, but the defense is a big ass question mark. And we've been proven that we are a playoff team. Even last year with Jake Browning, like throwing in for the last few games, like we still had almost a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
And it
I don't remember him that much. I remember his lady.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, she
Big
was.
fan of the Jake Brown and girlfriend.
Yeah, that was wild.
We love a nice snow
So,
bunny.
Mons, hearing a Bengals fan, you've heard me a little bit. What do you feel about them? Obviously, the offense is gonna be fucking electric.
I think that Trey Hendrickson is going to look amazing in a New England Patriots uniform.
Ooh, that'd be
Because
nice.
there's
Vrabel would
chatter.
be great.
There's chatter there, and a lot of it, and I would love that. But I
Vrabel-
mean, I don't get my hopes up because I've lived in Patriots fandom for my entire life, and we always want the big name and are in the mix for the big name and never get it. Hence, even he just brought up T. Higgins. We were all in on the T. Higgins coming to New England train. Never happened. So until Schefter officially announces Hendrickson, I'm not going to buy it. I would love it as a fan, but it's going to be an expensive price tag, to trade for him. So
you guys can have Micah Parsons. How about that?
I'll gladly
we'll
take
see how
Micah.
that transpires. I got to watch the Jerry Jones American Gambler. That show looks really good.
Yeah, but I think Cincy is going to be right there in the playoff hunt as always.
Do they make the playoffs though? With
Wait,
that defense,
did you just say if?
do they?
No, he said, do they?
Oh, do they? I believe they do. The books say they do.
Yeah,
Their defense is just, oh man.
I don't know. It really is going to determine on that.
I mean, fantasy wise, I'm taking all
Of course.
Jamar and T and Chase Brown. I think is gonna have a really solid year, but. I'm watching Joe run around last night, and then their defense, with the starters, and I know it's preseason, but their defense was awful last year. I don't know how much this coordinator is going to change. I liked your old coordinator actually.
Yeah, the Steelers aren't the Steelers that they used to be, right? So the Steelers and the Browns. So we have a semi-easy.
Well, you guys might lose.
division.
You might lose to the Browns week 1.
I don't. If we do, you will probably see me root for the
Bro,
Patriots,
you guys,
the
why
next
can't
6
you guys
weeks.
win in September? You guys can't win a fucking game in September.
No, it wasn't even that. I just believe that the summer it was nice. We go to New England. It was still nice in Boston. I get it, but man, we weren't prepared. And our playoff.
Yeah, a veteran quarterback. Same in this situation in the division with that D line. Guys, stay away from Cincy week 1 in Survivor. We'll be discussing Survivor a lot more now that I'm all hype about it.
No, take them. They're gonna get your coin back. Watch.
They won't cover the spread at the bare minimum. But going back to college football and NFL, whichever one you want to cover, Chris. Second to last segment here for us with you on. But what are your betting tips for betting early in the college football and NFL season for folks?
I will give you guys a lot of credit. I didn't know how in depth it was until you guys really started posting about the referee stats and what the referees have done for the NFL, because that you really have to pay attention to. You have over 180 games in baseball, that you don't hear nothing crazy about umpire stats because this is so much to keep up with. But the NFL, I love watching. I always look for your guys' videos on the NFL stats and the history and what the over is on this head referee and what the you guys are on top of that, and it is worth it to sign up and just to hear you guys give out information, because that's juicy information that we don't have to share. We could keep that to ourselves, but you guys give it to the public, which is beautiful. But I love taking the home dogs. The home dogs unders is probably one of my favorite systems in for NFL. College football, I am a first quarter, first half guy. Last year we were all over Indiana, Clemson. Clemson, I think, was 10-2 versus the first quarter spread.
I like that.
You have to pay attention. These teams that either get the ball first and college basketball is different, but college football, you have the Memphis, the UAB, the North Texas, the SMU. If you have a line that is lower than 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, you automatically take it. If it's over, you got to really think about it. But I love first quarter spreads and first quarter totals. And I'll find the ones that that have been proven, especially if they get the ball first. There's always that 50-50 chance, Especially if it's like a shit game, go ahead, give them the ball first. They're gonna give it right back 2 minutes later. Like, and then you have a chance to go down and score. Like Memphis was huge on scoring at least 1 to 10 points, one touchdown to 10 points each first quarter last year. SMU, same story. And that was even before Kalen Jennings era. That was even with Preston Stone. Like that's where I really saw it at, was Preston Stone coming out hot. SMU was an aggressive offense, and they caused a lot of turnovers in defense. Liberty, same story. Like first quarter overs. That is a thing that you just have to follow. And Indiana, when they had Curtis Rourke, that offense was nasty. Last year we had Indiana over 5.5. Like they had them over 5.5 wins for the whole season. And like the regular season. And I remember like that was probably the easiest. We went what 9-0 before we lost the game. And I'm not an Indiana fan, but I was because we had money on it, and like it was a great find
Yeah.
for me. This year I'm all over the under on Indiana. I'm not buying into the Mendoza.
I've heard that. We were at Bet Bash, and I heard somebody
No,
speaking about that.
no.
I was you got me thinking, Chris. For like, I was talking about like kind of early in the season. I think the biggest thing for me is just not like making sure clients don't abuse their bankroll too early. And everybody's giddy that football's back, but we don't have data and information on
Yeah,
these games quite yet. So
yeah, yeah,
I know a soccer company in England, and they don't even send out their reports till like 4 weeks into the season. So just unit
yeah.
sizing accordingly for NFL and college. Chris, the last question to wrap up here, and then Matt and I will share our thoughts on that as well, was the NFL. They have a lot of primetime games, right? Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Then they're doing Black Friday, Christmas, Saturday doubleheaders, all this. What is your opinion for betting on these like primetime games? Is there any strategy you look for? Do you always send out a play? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I usually always do. I love like low props. Like I'll find the receiver that has under 20 yards, like on a prop, and I love taking the over. Because we see a lot of, and you guys know the primetime unders has always been a thing. I don't know what the record is for the last 2 years, but like if you looked at it, primetime unders are real profitable.
Except last
And
season. Hold on. Let's caveat that. Last season was not profitable for anything
oh,
with dogs and unders.
yeah, so pretty much I think you see a lot of production, but you don't see scoring. So like I love a primetime under, like especially unless it's like like Pittsburgh versus the Jets. You won't see me take that. Like I because it's gonna be mid 30s, like if that. Like
Yeah.
but anything high 40s, like
Well, you got to think the average Joe is going up to the booth in Vegas and is like, "Fuck it, let's take the over." Like it's just,
yeah,
and they're obviously not making money there. So, um,
yeah,
no,
absolutely.
that'll be interesting, Chris. But Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Where can the folks find you on social media?
It's Professor Breezy on TikTok, on all platforms. I do not have a big Twitter account, but Instagram, same story. Everything is Professor Breezy. It has been since day one, and we're not gonna change. I have two accounts on TikTok, one with one Y, one with two Ys. Still Professor Breezy.
All right, easy to follow, Chris. Thanks so much for coming on. We're looking forward to
Absolutely.
staying in touch and excited for college and the NFL to start.
Yes, yes, sir. Good luck.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're almost done talking about random stuff. So this is probably your last show without talking about actual games.
Thank God.
I know you're excited. Overall though, Vegas, you liked Bet Bash?
Yeah, I liked Bet Bash.
A lot of sharps.
A lot of sharps, a lot of girth, a lot of dicks there.
A lot of nerdy fucking dudes.
A lot of nerds.
A lot of nerds.
A lot of men. Sausage fest galore.
Yeah, a lot of men. Like it was like literally 99% men.
Yeah, I think there was 2 women in the entire conference. So, like the missus giving me shit for going to Vegas, and I'm like, yeah, babe, I don't think you're gonna be too upset.
We were literally around a bunch of nerdy men. I mean,
Yeah.
the speed networking was quite interesting. That was
Yeah, I think speed networking was something. I mean, literally, it got to the point where the old lady was like happy that we went to Fontainebleau. We went to live because she was like, "Oh, you're at least gonna like have some fun, see some tail."
No, that was. I mean, Tiesta would have been better, but it was great overall. Yeah, Vegas was good there. Tough recovery there, but last night I threw on the first 30 minutes of the second Hard Knocks episode, and my God, this shit fucking sucks. They got the guy on the school. What is this?
I haven't watched Hard Knocks in a few years.
The SEC show was much better.
Yeah, I haven't watched Hard Knocks in a few years.
Probably
won't.
Sean McDermott, they're talking about his fucking sunscreen and shit. Like, I get it. The man had skin cancer and it's terrible, but let's have him getting fired up and yelling at these fuckers because they can't beat the goddamn Chiefs.
Ben,
I see none of that.
Speaking of sunscreen, Ben, Simon and I spent $40 on a bottle in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it was 37. You actually overcharged me, but
no, it was 40.
It was 37.
40.
You bought a soda.
No, it was 48 with the Monster. They charged me.
It was $8 for a fuck. Dude, the Vegas prices, people are out of control. $33 for a slice of pizza, 2 slices of pizza and a soda.
Okay. So we had the pool party on Friday, and I was like, oh, let me be smart. Let's get some sunscreen here. Stop in a little shop downstairs. Rookie move. And I'm not a Vegas rookie. It's my 3rd or 4th time I've been there. So don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking like, all right, 25 spot. $40 to the face.
And the $8 Monster?
I threw in a Monster, which made it $8. $8 for a can of fucking
I didn't realize.
cancer.
Yeah, they Vegas is crazy with the prices. Pretty insane there. But no, great time out in Vegas. But looking at preseason a little bit here, Mons, general question for you: if you were a coach, would you play the starters or would you sit them out?
I would give the starters probably 1/2 in the second game of preseason.
Okay.
Unless it is a rookie that is very likely going to have a huge impact on your team. Then I'd probably give him a half and then like a quarter of probably the third preseason game.
Interesting. I don't really like the McVay approach at all. I think teams are starting to go away from that of just sitting the guys overall. I mean, Mahomes even played a series.
They need to play. I mean, okay, if you're a quarterback and you're at the Mahomes, the Allen, the Lamar, you've been in the league 3+, 4+ years, you really don't need to play. Because what are you seeing that you have not seen before?
The only things that you really get out of it, in my opinion, are like Mahomes threw 1 pass, was a touchdown, and he ran the ball.
You get hit. You feel what it's like to get hit again.
No, you feel like it was being a real huddle.
Yeah, even in practice, you're not getting hit.
But if Mahomes is fucking out there, like these other guys should be. I mean, I don't know why Williams didn't start that first game, but I would definitely play the starters at least for like a series or two, probably like the first quarter. I mean, the Bengals have been playing Burrow because they keep losing in September.
Yeah.
So now they're playing him. I mean, he hasn't really been the problem. Well, they scored 10 points against the fucking Patriots in the first week last year. So I would start him. I don't like the McVay approach there, but hey, it works for McVay. I just don't think it works for most of the teams there. We already talked about Cincy, but the Cowboys are already kind of a fucking disaster. I know it's preseason, but you got Micah holding out. You got the Eagles week 1. The coaching's looked shaky already. I know we're not going to talk that much about preseason, but Cowboys, I think, are going to be a disaster. They may put up points, but tough road week 1. Tomorrow we'll be diving into this more, but Mons, how you feeling about entering your first real big survivor pool here for Circa?
I feel the same.
Feel the same, okay. Yeah. Ben, he feels.
Ben, we enter. Do you understand Survivor in the NFL? Do you follow it? So essentially, you pay an entry fee, and it's a big bunch of people, and you have to pick one team every week to win, and once you use that team, they're done. So you can't just pick the Chiefs every week. You got to pick you got to look at the matchups and strategically pick your teams. Circa in Vegas, a huge sports book out there and casino, they do a giant one. Fucking winner takes home 14 mil.
It's got to be like 20 this year, I think.
So it's depends on how many entries they get. So this year we joined. Ben, we were in the contest for all of 2 hours. He looks at me. He goes, so like, Matt, what buyout figure would you consider taking and selling our ticket at if we make it that far? I'm like, Simon, let's get past week 1, brother.
Yeah.
He's putting dollar bill. He's spending that money before we even won it. But no, what do I feel about it? I feel fine. I think
you're going to give us a good perspective with 3
yes, because
more betting
you get way too deep and analytical with shit.
Well, I mean, that's why we're
you're
voting.
the classic. It is. You're the classic guy. Like you put a March.
You're the
Madness
classic guy
bracket.
that would have taken fucking Cincinnati last year and lost week 1.
No, I would never have taken them against my Pats week 1. I would have wanted to root for my Patriots. Anyway,
We're gonna have to take the Patriots at some point.
You put a March Madness bracket in front of you, and you put a March Madness bracket in front of a girl that's just going to do it based on the mascots and the color of the
She probably will do
uniforms.
better.
And she'll do better. Exactly. Like it's just that's a classic thing. Is like when you get over analytical.
All right, well, we'll get more into it, but are you kind of aligned on the Denver front right now?
I like Denver week 1. I like Denver
I
week
do as
1.
well.
Good spot. What are they? Home against Tennessee.
They're very good in September.
yeah,
I don't want to
good.
get too much of the stuff, but same coach, quarterback.
Yep.
Pretty
I think
aligned.
We're
Not a
all in
division
alignment
game.
there.
All right.
I think even Billy agreed with that. I'm not sure about
We'll dive into it with him tomorrow, but just wanted to get your
Yes,
thoughts on that.
I'm excited. I'll give you a little energy there. I'm excited.
You're going to get into those games, I will say.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we're sweating out Denver week 1
If we
against Tennessee.
if we make it to like week 9, week 10, then you'll really start to see me.
All right. You heard it here first,
Dial
Ben.
in.
Big prize pool. We'll treat you to something depending on how well we do.
Simon, if we get 14 mil and you and I each take home a quarter of that, you'll never see me on the show again. I'll put it
That's fair. That's fair.
Ben, I'm sorry, buddy. We can go out for a weekly lunch or something, but
There's a lot of we will dive into this tomorrow with Billy, but I'll be wearing my hat tomorrow. I need a bigger chain as well, so that's happening by the end of this year. Sorry, Mom.
you can buy a nice gold chain with the quarter of 14 mil.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right. Some quick betting tips and stuff that I just wanted to discuss. Mons, we got college football starting Saturday. Why the fuck are people still taking teasers at minus 120 and minus 130 when we have an option at minus 110?
Because they're stupid and they don't line shop and they don't get the best bang for their buck. Ben's just fucking blowing O's back there. Just hot boxing the fuck out of the studio right now.
All right. We can take that off camera. Minus 110 teasers, though. I mean, you guys should just be taking them. We know where to get them. Fucking come to us. We're going to be roasting people on Twitter this year who are taking minus 120, minus 130. Also, Hard Rock does not offer same-game teasers, which I know a lot of D-Gens like, so we have that as well. Minus 110 teasers, guys. This is a promo for them. Just saving you money and juice in the long run. We all know you love your teasers, so that's my rant on teasers. Sharp and syndicate data. So we talked to a lot of sharps. We're both familiar with the space. For me this season, I'm definitely going to, look at kind of what they're on, but also look where the handle data is and put my own research into it. Sharp, they're generally, or most of them are going to be very profitable bettors, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily right. They go on streaks just like D-Gens, but they go on the mostly positive streaks there. So just making sure that you guys are, not just relying on that if you have access to that information, I think is important there. A few more things here. So the NFL starting in 2 weeks. I'm going to go through kind of my predictions for the awards, and if you have any thoughts here. MVP, I am going with Lamar Jackson. I can't go with Burrow. I don't think they'll be good enough with that defense. Mahomes, I think he'll have a solid year, but not amazing. Allen's going to have another great year. But Ravens top down, they're always great in the regular season. That division, they got no defense with Cincinnati, so I think he's going to, again, dominate in those two matchups. Steelers are in flux, and the Browns are terrible. So I'm going with Lamar. Who do you think? It's going to be a quarterback.
I agree with the quarterback. I don't think Buffalo's going to get it again. I don't think Josh Allen's going to get it again. How many would this be for Lamar? 3 if he wins this year?
Yeah, 2 or 3, something like that.
Well, that's going to determine, because basically I'm just deciding between him or Mahomes. And even though I don't think that, Mahomes, he would need to have a very good bounce back year.
Twice. He's won it twice.
Twice? This would be his third? Yeah, I think either him or Mahomes. It's kind of boring.
Why do you think Mahomes?
Because the NFL loves him.
All right. I just don't think he's going to have enough numbers to.
I don't think he has honestly, I would be very impressed if he's in the MVP convo, because he does not have the supporting cast to do it.
The Burrows, we'll talk about Offensive Player of the Year. The next one, Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's really like Cam Ward and Ashton Genty, and I think Cam's they're gonna have a bad record, but I think he's gonna produce pretty solid numbers there. And I don't know why I'm such a fucking Tennessee guy. I don't know if it's just Nashville or whatever. But I'm gonna go with the quarterback here. I think he has a solid year. Who do you think, Mons, for Rookie of the Year? Offensive. Those are like the two big ones.
If he gets enough time early, as much as it pains me to say.
Oh God.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with it. I think Dart. He has a very
Oh God.
legit shot if he gets enough time. If it's like a week 10, start is his first start, probably not. But I mean, they're already talking about moving on from Jameis. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, they're
already talking about having Jackson start as the number 2 on the depth. And then, I mean, I could easily see, like I said, the Giants having if they trade Jameis, he's already number 2, having a slow start or Russ getting hurt, and they want to put in a spark in there by week 5,
Ben's
week
New York
6.
Giants, his little playoff brat over there.
And I'm not even a Giants supporter.
Wow, I like that. I like that long shot for Dart there. For me, speaking of the Giants, defensive rookie of the year, I think this is easy. Abdul Carter.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Not only that, but because he has Burns and some of those other guys up front, it's going to make his life a lot easier. And their front is incredible. So I think Abdul Carter, he just reminds me, we're the same number in college, that Micah Parsons, but he's not the guy on the line. You got Dexter Lawrence and Thibodeau and Brian Burns over there, that he's not going to have all the pressure on him. So I think his numbers will be solid, and he'll win Rookie of the Year pretty easily for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I think, he's not going to have to face virtually any double teams.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And he's a rookie, he will have young, fresh legs basically deep into the fourth quarter. If anything, as long as Dable and them space out Brian Burns's and Thibodeau's reps, they'll still be relatively fresh in the fourth quarter as well.
Yeah.
He has the easiest path to Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting there.
No
Offensive Player of the Year, I'm gonna go Jamar Chase. I think he has another massive year with Burrow. He's a stud. He's the number 1 guy in fantasy. They have that chemistry from college. They're going to air the ball out. Their defense is going to be terrible. I don't really need to say much more. I think Chase is going to win it. Jefferson, he doesn't have the quarterback, I think, to put up the numbers that would be needed. So I think
we'll see about that.
I think it's Chase no, Jefferson will put up numbers, but I just think Chase's connection and how bad their defense is going to be, I got to go Jamar.
I agree with that, but who the fucking hell thought that Sam Darnold was going to put up numbers last year? So all it needs, JJ McCarthy is not going to be a stupid or a bad quarterback. He will be smart.
You just kind of toss it up.
Exactly. So if you give him a target like Jay Jetta's, also this actually will inhibit Jay Jetta's.
Saquon won it last year, by the way, the award.
What's up with Addison? Is he still suspended?
First 3 weeks.
3?
Yeah.
Dumbass. Call for steroids.
Yeah, idiot. Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson. He was having a great year last year. The guy who kind of looks like you.
Oh shit! Yeah, what happened? He broke his shit.
Yeah,
right?
he was out for the year, but I think he was dominant last year. Lions did lose their DC, but he was having a great year last year. He's one of the young. He was drafted, 2nd overall or whatever. I think he continues what he was doing last year, and he's over the injury. He's young enough to recover from it, and he's dominant in that defense.
Has he been completely, fully healthy the entire preseason?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Gotcha. Yeah. Who do you like? One of the defensive ends, TJ.
I would love to give it to a corner, just because. When's the last time we saw a corner win one? Was it Stephon Gilmore?
Won one.
Or was it? Was it Gilmore or? Look at him, he's flying over there.
Yeah, he did win Defensive Player of the Year.
2024?
Yeah.
Oh, that was last year. Oh.
Yeah.
Then no, I don't think.
And then Gilmore was before that. I think it's going to be like Garrett or Nick Bosa, one of those guys, probably.
Probably an edge rusher.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Aiden for it. He's a beast. Coach of the Year, and I think he starts the week 1 early, Sean Payton.
No.
Yes, Sean Payton.
Oh, Vrabes. And there's bias in there, but I know you like it.
No, I think Vrabel's going to have a great year, but I just think they're not going to win the division, and I think the Broncos have a legit shot at winning that division this year.
Division, I think that the Broncos have a better shot than the Pats, but I don't think that the division winner is going to determine.
Well, the Patriots got the Broncos won the playoffs last year. They were a good team, so I get what you're saying with that.
Exactly. We had Gerard fucking Mayo.
Do you like any other? I guess since we're both kind of on this, we both like both of these coaches, but anybody else coaching wise?
Just to piss you off, Ben Johnson. I hope that the Bears get 12 wins or some shit.
Well, then I'm going to owe our friends $1,000 then.
Yeah, you will.
Wow.
You got to stop betting.
Well, that was a side bet. I'm trying to think who else. Nah, none of the rookie coaches.
It's going to go to a rookie coach.
Coach of the year?
Yeah, it will.
Why do you think did it go to one last year?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, it's going to go to a coach that's on a newish team. Like, I would still. That's why I agree with your Sean Payton. That's
O'Connell won it last year. The year before was Stefanski. So like not great teams, but well, no, Vikings had a great record last year.
Last year, yes.
Yeah. What about Seattle? Mike McDonald.
Hmm.
My guy Colin. Colin thinks they're gonna win the fucking division.
Well, okay, Colin.
I met Chad Millman the other day. That was legendary at the conference.
Yep.
I might be speaking at the conference next year. Who knows?
I will not go to watch that.
Yeah. You. What was your favorite session, so the people know?
The banking and gambling Ben. It was literally. It was one of the speakers was a bank.
I'm so mad I missed this one.
It was a banker, and
lady.
It was a lady, and you literally just put 30 guys that all make their money illegally in a room with a banking woman, asking her like, it was just how many ways can we say like, okay, I'm doing this. Will I get caught? Like, and it was so funny because she's going on and on. She's like, don't structure your money. She's like, don't deposit $7,500 there and $2,000 there and $5,000 there. She's like, don't do that. She's like, if you have $10,000, go in, file the cash transaction report, file the CTR. I promise you, the IRS and government has far bigger things to worry about than your $10,000 cash deposit that you make once every 3 months or whatever. No one gives a fuck. That's basically what she was saying.
Was this her?
Yes. And this dude literally looks at her dead in the eyes.
So mad that I didn't go.
He looks at her dead in the eyes after like her going on and 40 minutes at minimum. He raises his hand. She goes, yes. He's like, so how do I structure my money without making it look like I structured money? And the woman, she's like, did you guys not listen to a single thing I've said? She was like, and I kind of said, I was like, ma'am, like, you know what we all do, like how we make our money. Like, you got to know this was evident. Like, it was great, though. It was very funny. There was the wine tasting speaking was fun and good.
You know what? They were giving us full pours, not small things. I got to give it out to Honig Wines. If you want to sponsor the show, we would love that. I'll start drinking wine. Ben's a wine connoisseur over there with the nice outfit. But we got one last segment. Thanks to our intern, Lindsay, the podium picks. I've been seeing this on Bleacher Report. I'll start with you, Mons. This is an easy one. Top 3 time zones in the United States to watch sports in. Is this easy for you?
Yes and no, because I do love rolling out of bed and having my morning before I have to get into the lab and sweat. So I'll put it this way. With my new lifestyle, non-waking up at 5:30 in the morning to landscape, and since I've retired from landscaping, I will put East Coast as the one.
That's a fair word to say retirement.
Yes, retirement. I will put East Coast as the one. The 1 o'clocks, the 4 o'clocks, the 8 o'clocks. Yes, it does suck when that 8 o'clock goes into OT and I'm looking at like a 12:30, 12:45 game ending, but whatever. Number 2, I'll go West Coast. There is something to be said about just not having to wait. If I wake up early on a Sunday, which is rare, but if it happens and I wake up at that 9 o'clock spot, I have to wait, till 1. That sucks. Waking up West Coast time, rolling out of bed, and the game's kicking off at 10. That's great. I don't have a number 3. Oh, and West Coast, the what do they have? A 5 o'clock is their primetime game. 5 o'clock's done by 9 p.m. latest. That's fucking awesome. But I don't have a third.
Central?
Spot, I guess, but like it's fucking central.
All right, I'll do my top.
I just have 2. East Coast, West Coast for me.
All right, I'll do my top 3. Mountain time's got to be number 1. So the 1 o'clocks would start at 11.
Okay.
I think 10's a little bit early. And then number 2, I would do Central time zone. And then 3, West Coast. East Coast is dead last for me. These games are on too fucking late. I like waking up and being ready to go. But I think Mountain gives me like a 2-hour, I'm ready to go by like 11, I feel like, and I'm not really going out late on Saturdays anymore. I say that, and then, week 3 will be at fucking Dare or something.
100%. I'll give you Mountain then in my number 3 then, or in my number 2, whatever. I'll throw Mountain in there because I forgot about Mountain. I don't know my time zones.
Yeah, I think just West Coast is like just a little bit early. A lot of people say Central. But East Coast, I mean, I just think it's always too late. So even Central gets you to like 7:20. Did you hear, by the way, that the NBA is going to be doing 11 o'clock starts on the East Coast for games?
Good.
For like West Coast games on like Tuesdays.
No one cares about it anyway.
Wow. Wow, I love that from Mons here. We are anti-NBA. But been a great show. We're doing another one tomorrow, actually, diving into college football.
When are the NFL theme song showers going to start up?
That's got to be probably before the Thursday night first.
So your shower on Thursday before we go out to the bars. Oh, well, you won't. Well, no, you'll be back for that.
Yeah.
Shower on Thursday before we go out for that game. Patio bar. You're going to rip the theme songs?
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. Ben, last year, 2 years ago, whatever. I'm in his living room.
I think we're past our time here.
It's okay.
Only if Ben approves.
Ben had no problem going over. I'll find the video, tomorrow or something. We'll put it up.
He doesn't have it anymore. I deleted it from his phone.
Definitely didn't. It's like right before week 1 or NFL kickoff, and I'm sitting in his living room, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shower." I was like, "All right, sounds good." It's like 2-3 hours before kickoff, and I hear like, I was like, "What the fuck? Like, is that the CBS like NFL theme song?" And so I'm like, whatever.
He does the song so wrong.
And
too.
then
that's the funniest part.
Another one comes on, and another one. And I go up to the bathroom door, and this dude has a Spotify playlist ripping in his shower of just all the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, 1 p.m., 8 o'clock Sunday night. Got Carrie Underwood singing like Sunday Night Football on NBC. Like,
she's so hot.
She is hot. But like, dude's got it all. And I was like, Simon, he got out. And he's like acting like everything's normal. And I was like, dude, were you just listening to a playlist of all the NFL theme songs? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, why are you surprised? And I was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised, honestly. I should have known better. That's on me.
Yeah. All right. With that, we will see y'all tomorrow here. Follow us on all socials. Make Vegas pay. Excited to have a special guest, Billy, in and talk some actual football games. We'll see if Mons knows about Farmageddon. But have a great night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. The Iowa State Kansas State game is called Farmageddon.